Today's forecast. Today is the 31st of October, the final day of this month and also the week. You can see in yesterday's chart, if you go to the daily chart, the whole day was bullish, even though the price was in between the EMA lines in the 4-hour chart and also in the 1-hour chart. You can't see any trend according to these EMA lines because the price was moving between them. But the gold price was bullish and hit the 150 EMA this morning. According to yesterday's daily forecast, I was able to enter the market and get around 360 pips profit. You can see in the 15-minute chart, I entered the market within this fair value gap after the price came down to that area, and I entered the market with this 15-minute bullish candle. That's how I entered the market. There was another opportunity to enter, but the price did not touch the zone we had created, so I didn't take that trade at the time. Anyway, now we need to check what we can expect in today's price action. You can see in the daily chart that the price is in a big sell zone. According to the earlier stages in gold, after price came down to that area, it showed some downward movement, and that happened a couple of times this week. Also, in the daily chart, the 20 EMA line is within that sell zone, so we can expect some pullback if the price does not break and retest. That's a very important period to enter the market in today's gold movement. In the 4-hour chart, you can see both the 150 EMA are here, and the 20 EMA is below the price while the 100 EMA is at the bottom. That is not a perfect EMA setup. These lines are all over the place. That means the price doesn't have a clear bias. So in this kind of market, we can do both buying and selling. This is a consolidated period, so we must be careful when entering trades. In these kinds of situations, a lot of people lose money when prices between the EMA lines, both in the 4-hour chart and 1-hour chart. Similarly, in the 1-hour chart, you can't see a clear bias either. The 150 and 100 EMA lines are above the 20 EMA, but the 50 EMA is below it, so it's a bit hard to take big trades. You need strong confirmation every time you enter, and you should also be ready to exit quickly because the EMAs are clearly separated at each level. First of all, I would like to draw new support and resistance lines. I'll remove the old zones and setups. That will help us get a clearer view. Now I'll hide the EMA lines and look to draw the best support and resistance levels according to the 4-hour chart. Based on the recent price action, there are two areas, one where price bounced and another where price dropped. So I'll draw two support and resistance lines based on these reactions. This will be our support, and I'll also mark the resistance. I'll keep both because that could be a major resistance later. Now I'm going to draw the buy and sell zones according to these setups. First, I'd like to identify the buy zones. In the daily chart, there is a good buy zone around that area. If price comes down there later, it will be a good buy opportunity. Also, you can see a strong sell zone in that area. I'll mark it as a daily sell zone. These are the two areas I'd like to draw. There's also another good upward movement zone, but I'll identify that in the 4-hour chart. You can see a couple of upward movements, this one and this second one, both coming from the same area. This is a good buy zone for me, so I'll draw a buy zone within that area. If price comes down there, I'll look to enter. This is my first buy zone. It's a small one because there's only a small wick. Then I'll draw another buy zone just above that. This will be our second buy zone. Moving further up, you can see another area with both bullish and bearish movement, a big upward move followed by some downward candles. So I'll draw that area as another buy zone. I'll adjust these zones using the 1-hour chart because that gives a more precise view. I'll also draw another sell zone with that big wick since price dropped rapidly on Monday from that area. I'll mark it as a sell zone. These are the zones I found for today's market. You can see there are many buy and sell zones. It might seem confusing, but we have to mark all of them so we can identify the risky areas. Now I'd like to check potential trade entries. You can see, at the moment, the market still looks a bit bearish, and there are a couple of fair value gaps in the 15-minute chart. You can enter if price moves upward to that area and fills the fair value gap. Then we can sell. I think price could come down quickly because we can see some buy zones nearby. Price might come down, go up, and then return again. That's what I'm expecting. In the 1-hour chart, I'll adjust the buy and sell zones. First, for these two buy zones, they don't need much change, but I'll slightly adjust one area since price could reach there. I'll create the buy zone around that wick. Other than that, no big changes are needed. So, these are our zones, 2 sell zones and 4 buy zones. Price could come down and give us a chance to enter, but according to the daily chart, I think price might drop to the 50 EMA. That's a very important area for me to enter as a buyer. Even though we've drawn all these zones, you can only enter once price breaks and retests. Now, in the 1-hour chart, let's look at the best possible setups to enter. The first setup for me, you can see 3 bearish candles after the price hit the 150 EMA. In the 15-minute chart, you can see 2 fair value gaps. I'll enter after price reaches one of them. You must wait until a bearish candle forms after touching the wick, then you can enter. You can take your first profit after the fair value gap is filled. That's your first take profit level. After that, you can exit when the EMA lines cross over or when price reaches the buy zone. That's my first setup. Next, if price comes down, you can enter with confirmation from the 4-hour chart because the 150 EMA is in that area. If price breaks below the 20 EMA and then comes down to that buy zone, you can enter with confirmation. Your first take profit will be that sell zone. That's the second setup. Also, if price drops and breaks below the 150 EMA, you can enter as a seller when a bearish candle forms in the 1-hour chart. That's our third setup. These are the setups we can identify. You can also enter if price breaks upward from a zone. Since the market is slightly bearish, that could also give a good buy setup. These are the best possible setups you can identify if you want to enter the market with confirmation. Thank you very much for watching our videos. If you need anything else, please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.